It's been a bumpy journey to number 10 for one of Britain's best-known politicians. Boris Johnson has a reputation for gaffes and bluster. His Brexit stance has been clear from the start, although it hasn't always been communicated well.
I will be advocating vote leave, or whatever the team is called. I understand there are many of them.
Now the world wants to know more detail.
Brexit. We will, of course, be pushing our plan into action.
So we understand...
And getting ready to come out on October the
31st.
31st, correct.
Come what may.
Come what may.
Do or die.
Come what may. Do or die.
Making no deal, the default option on October 31st, has businesses worried and markets jittery.
Investors getting very worried and the pound beginning to price in a greater probability that we could indeed see a no-deal Brexit. I think somewhere between 110 and 105 on a no-deal Brexit is certainly a very strong probability.
As Boris Johnson prepares to enter the doors of number 10, warnings about a no-deal Brexit are growing. A government report says that the UK could face a year-long recession and the pound could plunge 10%. The answer from the Boris team, though? Optimism.
They want somebody who's going to go out there and make a positive case for Britain, who's going to attract business investors into our country.
Then there's a new Prime Minister's wider attitude to business.
Can the Secretary of State confirm and remotely justify that his response was to say F business?
I don't think anybody could doubt the passionate support of this government for business, and it may be that I have from time to time expressed scepticism about some of the views of those who profess to speak up for business.
Boris Johnson has announced an array of plans, including tax cuts, leading many to compare his economic policies to another maverick politician.
I don't necessarily agree with everything Donald Trump does or says. However, I do think some of the policies on economic growth have been successful in the US, and certainly there are lessons to be learned.
From cutting taxes to spending on infrastructure, broadband, police and education, it's not yet clear how the new government will afford it all, especially if Boris Johnson's do-or-die, no-deal predictions blow the economy off course.
All right, more on the breaking news now in Hong Kong. Thousands of protesters there are on the march. Tear gas now is in the air.
In fact, CNN's Anna Corrin is in the crowd. She was actually hit by tear gas just a few minutes ago. Anna, first of all, you and the crew okay?
Yeah, thank you, Christy. We're okay, but it was something we were not anticipating. We've been here covering these protests every weekend for the last 8 consecutive weekends, and police have fired tear gas, but not at that strength. This was something quite toxic. It hit the ground. Admittedly, we were in a residential area, and then it was just burning up. And if you don't have your mask on super tight, then it gets in. My producer, Bex Wright, and myself, we were just choking up. It was extremely difficult to breathe, and we just had to get out of there, as did everybody else. We were down the hill, and you can still see riot police down there, but they have dispersed the crowd. Now they are moving in that direction, and you can hear them hitting their shields. They are moving these crowds much quicker and much more effectively than they have over the past 8 weeks. This is a completely different operation to what we have seen. In the past, police have allowed this to drag on for hours. But tonight it is happening at a much faster pace. Where we are is Shung Wan, very close to the Beijing liaison office. That is basically the Chinese government building here in Hong Kong. And last Sunday, protesters graffitied it. They defaced the national emblem, and Beijing was quick to respond. They said that was challenging the one country, two systems policy. That is why they are guarding that area, and they don't want protesters getting anywhere near it. Those protesters are now being moved back here in Shenzhen. This is a very residential area. But we also know that there's another protest happening about 15 minutes from where we are in Causeway Bay. There are thousands of people there. Apparently not a very heavy police presence at this stage, but it would seem that after last night, where we were at Yunlong, a border city very close to the Chinese mainland, those violent clashes with police where they used tear gas, rubber bullets and pepper spray, we our crew were with the protesters when they attacked. It seems the police are now upping the ante, whether they are going to tolerate these unlawful assemblies for much longer. You get the sense, Christine and Victor, that police are starting to clamp down.